Hi beauties, Rosie here from rosypena.com, a sewing and style blog. So today I'm here with a new video all about the Sophia flares. So if you guys haven't already noticed, I've been doing several sew along videos for most of my patterns. I recently released 6 new patterns. This is going to be our second sew along video from that collection. So the last sew along that we did was the Bella wrap top. That was one of the most popular picks from the collection, so I wanted to do that one first. If you guys haven't already checked out the Bella wrap top, I'll insert a little iCard of the sew along video. That way you can check that video out as well. But today's video is all about the Sophia flares. So the Sophia flares are really fun, trendy pants. I've been seeing these kind of ITY knit flare pants really everywhere. So I just wanted to sit down and talk to you guys a little bit more about the actual pattern itself. Most of the sew along videos, I usually just jump straight into the tutorial, but I thought I would just sit down and talk a little bit about the pattern. But as always, if you guys ever have any questions, you can comment on that video that you have a question about. And then you can also email us at hello@rosypena.com. And I'll be happy to help you out with any sewing questions or whatever questions you might have about the pattern. So here's the pattern, the Sophia flares, and I paired it here with the Bella wrap top. But you can really pair this pair of pants with anything. You can pair it with the tank top, you can pair it with the camisole, you can pair it with the simple tee. Really whatever your personal style is. I recently just did a Sophia hack, and I'll insert a little picture of it here. But I've been seeing these flare pants everywhere in the fashion world, and the hack that I did was a little side split of the pants, and I'll talk a little bit more about it in this video as well during the sew along. So if you guys saw that picture and you guys are interested in doing that hack, I'll also have the details in this video on how I did it. And then all of our patterns of course come with instructions as well. So these are PDF patterns, you print them at home. So the first page of the instructions is actually the cover here. I just like to print that page off and use it as my kind of cover sheet for my envelope. So I just purchased these little envelopes from Walmart. You can get them from any office supply store or anything like that. But that's how I like to store my PDF pattern. So I just tape the cover sheet of the patterns to the envelope. So next, of course, we have our instructions. So the second page of your instructions just describes the pattern. So it says it's a trendy flare style pant featuring a high-rise or low-rise option. Sophia is both fashion-forward and comfortable to wear. The pattern is beginner-friendly and works great with stretch fabrics. So that kind of just sums up Sophia in a nutshell. It's a really simple pattern. Like I mentioned, it's perfect for beginners. So the fabrics that you want to choose for Sophia are anything that has high amounts of stretch. You want to make sure that it has a good stretch, and you want to make sure it has a good recovery. And recovery just means that it bounces back whenever you stretch it. So just make sure it has a really good high amount of stretch and make sure that it has good recovery. So things like ITY knit will work really well for the Sophia flare. And I'll have several different fabric options linked in the blog post to this video as well. So just make sure you stick with something that has a good amount of spandex in it. And another word for spandex is lycra. It's the same thing. Spandex and lycra are essentially the same thing. So anything that has high amounts of spandex and high amounts of lycra will work really great for the Sophia flare. Okay, and then on the bottom here, it goes into your measurement. So just make sure you cut the pattern according to your size. So the next page is the cutting layout. This just shows you how to cut out your pattern pieces. Depending on how wide your fabric is, you guys can just play around with the pattern pieces on the fabric. So just make sure you're cutting it out with the grain line of your pattern pieces parallel to your selvage edge. You want the fabric to be able to stretch around your body. So as long as you make sure the grain line of your pattern pieces are parallel to the selvage edge, you should be totally fine with your pattern. So then the next page is just your printing instructions. A lot of you guys probably already know how to print out PDF patterns, but if for any reason you guys don't know how to print out PDF patterns, I'll have that linked as well. I actually have a video walking you step by step how to print it from your computer. But this just shows you a little bit more about it. And then the next few pages are going into the actual pattern instructions. So this is a sew along video, so I'm going to show you in this video how to sew your Sophia flares step by step. Like I mentioned, this is a really great beginner pattern, especially if you want to jump into sewing pants, because it's going to give you a better visual of how to actually assemble pants, and you're also not going to have very many fitting issues. So knits are really great whenever it comes to fitting, and like I said, this is a simple pattern, so there's no darts or anything like that. It's really just going to give you a good feel of how to actually sew pants, and then also how to attach a waistband. So it's a really great beginner pattern. There are only 3 pattern pieces, so you have your front, your back, and you also have your waistband pattern piece. So if you guys are interested in sewing pants, I think this is a really great pattern to get started with. But that is really it for this intro of the video. I just wanted to sit down and kind of overview the pattern. Like I said, if you guys are interested in the hack, I'll also mention a little bit about that in this video as well. So really that is it for this video, but if you guys have any questions about construction or any questions about the pattern pieces themselves or any questions in general, go ahead and leave a comment in the description bar below. or you can always email us at hello@rosypena.com. So I really hope you guys are as excited about this collection as I am. I know sometimes people get a little bit weird about when people talk about their own stuff. It really is just my passion project, so hopefully you guys can appreciate that as well. And I don't want to pressure anybody to buy any of the patterns. That's not what I'm here for. But if you see something you like, of course, I encourage you to get the pattern. Tag me in your make, send me an email, and tell me what you thought about the pattern. Like I said, I'm just really excited about this whole collection in general. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.
To make your Sophia flares, you'll first need to cut out 2 of pattern piece number 1, which is your front pants. Next, you'll need to cut out 2 of pattern piece number 2, which is your back pants. Next, you'll need to cut out 2 of pattern piece number 3, which is your front and back waistband. Now we're going to sew the front pant leg to the back pant leg with right sides together at the inner leg seam. Make sure you repeat this step to your remaining front and your remaining back pant leg. Before we go to the sewing machine, go ahead and place your waistband pieces with right sides together and pin along the short ends. Now we're going to sew along the pinned edges using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Once you've sewn both sides of the waistband piece, go ahead and press your seams open and then turn the waistband onto itself with wrong sides together. Now, starting from the bottom up, sew your inner leg seam with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now, just as a quick size reference, the pattern pieces that I have cut here are a size 2XL, so this may look a little bit different than the fabric pieces that you have cut out. Now we're going to place our pant pieces with right sides together, starting at that inner leg seam. Then we're going to match our notches and we're going to continue pinning throughout the entire crotch. Your fabric to your sewing machine and sew with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, making sure to remove your pins as you go, and also making sure that you're using a stretch stitch. A good stretch stitch is about a 1.5 width by a 2.5 length. Now we're going to pin our pants with right sides together along the side seams. Now again, for size reference, the pattern pieces that I have cut out are a size 2XL. I'm sewing this pattern for a friend. Your size may look a little bit different than this, but the concept of sewing is just the same. Take your fabric to your sewing machine and sew with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, making sure to remove your pins as you go, and also make sure that you're using a stretch stitch. So I recently posted a Sophia flare leg hack where the side seam of Sophia is split open. This is just a really trendy thing that is going on in the fashion world, so I thought it would be a fun little hack to add to the Sophia flares. If you want to follow along with that hack, all you have to do is start pinning about 18 inches up from the bottom hem, and this is going to give you that side split. Once you finish sewing that seam, you're just going to press the seam allowance open and you're going to top stitch along that opening and along the entire hem. But remember, that hack is optional. If you want to follow along with the pattern instructions, you're just going to sew the entire side seam as normal. Once you finish sewing the side seam, the next step is to attach our waistband. So bring your waistband in and you're going to pin it with right sides together, matching the side seam of the waistband to the side seam of the pants. You should also have a notch along the center of the waistband. You're going to pin that notch to the center front and the center back seams. If you notice you're having trouble attaching your waistband to the top portion of your pants, you can baste your waistband in place just so that the layers don't slip around as much. Then after you've basted your waistband, you can continue pinning it to the top of your pants. Take your fabric to your sewing machine and sew with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, removing your pins as you go and making sure that all layers are even. So the back portion of your pants are made slightly bigger than the front portion of your pants. So you will need to stretch your waistband slightly to accommodate for the extra room in the back of your waistband. Also, if you enjoy a slim fit waistband, go ahead and cut a size down on the waistband pattern piece. This will give a slimmer fit and a more cinched in waist. But remember, you'll have to stretch the waistband slightly to accommodate the extra room on the pants. Once you finish attaching the waistband, finish the raw edge with the serger or your desired method. Press the seam allowance down and the waistband away from the pants. The very last step is to hem your Sophia flares. So go ahead and try your flares on first and determine how much you need to hem up at the bottom portion of the pants. Make sure you're wearing the same shoes that you plan on wearing with your pants. Then go ahead and press your hem allowance up and then sew close to the raw edge. Alright you guys, so that is it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned something new. If you guys are interested in the Sophia Flare pattern, I'll have it linked in the description bar below, and also make sure you try out the Sophia Flare hack. I think it's really cool and different. But that is it for this tutorial. Make sure you guys subscribe so you won't miss out on any future videos, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.